Hello, welcome back to A Boring Revolution, your number one news source for everything in regards to the Boring Company. Thank you for joining me this evening. I'm back with another update in regards to the Resorts World Tunnel project in Las Vegas. I know I spoke about this earlier in the month, but this is a very, very important project for the Boring Company with the first kind of iteration of Prufrock, the first kind of action for this particular machine, and it's going to be very important to see if this machine can break some records. So what has been going on since we last spoke? Well, quite a few things really. Let's have a quick look at the plans to begin with. This is the Resorts World kind of proposal, as it were, or the actual plans for construction. It might have changed slightly since then. This is the kind of the earliest plan that was proposed. Obviously, this part of the tunnel has been excluded from the this part of the process. As you can see, here's where we're launching the machine. Here's where we're porpoising, just off Elvis Presley Boulevard. And then it finishes up here further down Las Vegas Boulevard. I believe this part of the project has already been completed. This is kind of some kind of cut and cover tunnel that links in with the proposed passenger loading area. I believe that is due to be constructed, or is well on the way to be constructed. If anyone does have any more detailed plans of the Resorts World project, please do get in touch with me with the email below, or contact me via DM on Twitter, as I'd like to see a bit more detail in the plans, if at all possible. Okay, so let's go to some interesting pictures that we have seen. These came from a Twitter user called Gasoff2 on Twitter. You know, consider following him because obviously he is active in this area. Las Vegas Loop is detailed on various notice boards. As we can see here, we've got our escalators. So clearly this has been in the works now for over a year. Resorts World Casino is kind of the most modern luxury high-tech casino in the Las Vegas area. So obviously they want to kind of promote this, and they've built this infrastructure in advance. So here's kind of like the underpass as you were. Right, so here are the most recent photographs that I have received. Thanks to Douglas for sending me more and more photos. He's really doing himself proud there. Thank you very much, Douglas. So as you can see, here is the back end of the machine. Not sure what this is here. Might be the thrust cylinders. I need to have a closer look at that. But progress on the kind of gantry back end of the machine is going very, very nicely. Here's our cradle that the machine is sat on. Obviously, that will be elevated closer to start of the actual boring process. Everything's progressing very, very nicely. I believe this down here is where the actual concrete segments are lined up, ready for erection, as it were. So it's looking good. Pretty much the main kind of skeleton of the machine is built. The mechanical elements are obviously being installed and calibrated. So that's all good to see. In terms of when I expect it to actually start boring, I think I was way off in my previous projections. So it's probably going to be Tuesday, Wednesday, possibly Thursday of next week. If it's earlier than that, then that's a bonus. But as you can see, it takes a long time to assemble and calibrate these machines. This is the first time they've ever had to assemble this machine. So maybe there are some learnings to be made there. But as you can see, this particular kind of segment here, with its cross bracing, steel box section construction, this is actually being used to remove spoil from the tunnel, and these chains here are used to drive a conveyor belt here at the top. You can see it better up here actually. So it looks like the spoil is moved up to the top here from the tunnel, and then it is moved along and then dropped into this area here. This looks very similar to the spoil collection point that we've seen on the previous Las Vegas Convention Center project. It's just what they have done here is they have further automated it. So rather than having a crawler crane, which is costing you many hundreds of dollars per day, they've built this piece here, and it basically pulls up the spoil on a conveyor belt, runs it across the top, and then drops it into this containment point here. You can actually see it in more detail in a further photograph that I have, which I'll show you in a short while. The interesting thing about this particular photograph here is this is our screw conveyor, our Archimedes screw, as it were. It's quite big. This would be typically standard size for maybe a 6 or 7 meter diameter machine, but our machine is much smaller than this, Prufrock. So the fact that they're using quite a large diameter screw conveyor is very fascinating. Actually, that would indicate that they're maybe looking to remove double the amount of spoil per hour as they did on the previous project, or maybe even more than double. Depends how many RPMs this particular machine does. So that's all very interesting. So here is our spoil kind of heap or collection point. There's a conveyor belt here. It looks fairly small actually, which might indicate that they have plans to remove spoil from this area fairly regularly. They were doing that on the previous Las Vegas Convention Center project. However, this might indicate that they may be running multiple lorries, semi trucks through this area every hour. Again, here is a good shot of our conveyor belt that sits on top of this particular box section steel unit here. So all in all, everything is progressing very nicely with Prufrock. It's quite a large and complex machine, as are all TBMs really. So it's taken them a little while to get things going, but we're looking for a potential launch on Wednesday, Thursday, potentially Tuesday if things go quite swimmingly, but you know, we'll have to see there. Here's a good shot of our cradle here, as you can see. It's got a nice moon shape. So there's not really a lot to complain about here. Obviously it's taken a little while longer to assemble the machine, but that's, you know, that goes hand in hand with basically assembling something that is never been done before. It is a one of a kind. The key question that I have is how much faster is this machine compared to Godot? 20%, 30%, 80%, 100%? We really don't know. It's definitely a lot more complex. There's a lot more parts to it compared to that. It's more integrated in terms of the entire length of the machine, including this spoil conveyor system here. So it'll be interesting to see how much spoil they can remove per hour. Here's a good shot of the front of Prufrock there. I think overall good progress, but we'd like to see the machine moving by now. It should be moving fairly soon. There's around 750 meters worth of tunnel here to bore. So the question is, can it do it in under 2 weeks? I think that's a tall order, a bit of a tall order that, but if it can do it in under 2 weeks, that would indicate that this machine is ready for the prime time. It's ready for the big project in Las Vegas. It's ready for potentially Fort Lauderdale, the Miami project, maybe a project in Austin as well. So all in all, very promising signs. I've got eyes and ears on the ground here. So as more information comes through, I will be posting it on this channel. If you enjoyed that update and want to get more information, please follow me on Twitter at BoringPrufrock. Please consider supporting me with just $4 or $2 on Patreon. That would really help me build my setup here and make better videos. And please do consider joining us on Discord. We have a good old chat and a lot of information is posted on there. Brilliant. So thank you very much to all my Patreons. By many Patreons. I'm up to 23 Patreons now, which is incredible. And they all support this channel, which is incredible. And I'm very welcome of that support. It is really helped me build a good following, as it were, and build a better setup. Thank you very much for joining me. I really hope you enjoyed that update. As the machine gets going, I'm going to kind of build a kind of database of all the metrics in terms of how much spoil is being removed, you know, per week, how fast the machine has been progressing, and sort of how many semi trucks are turning up on site to remove the spoil, how many segments are landing on site, and how quickly are they going into the erector there. So there's lots of different data metrics that I'm going to be following on this particular project, and it'll be interesting to see if they can, you know, start and finish the whole thing in under 2 weeks. Thank you very much for joining me. Hope you really enjoyed that update, and please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. Thank you, and remember, don't be boring. I will see you on the next one. Have a great day. Thank you, and good night.
Wow. This is Sparta!